Radon is a cancer-causing gas linked to thousands of deaths every year, and this map you're looking at right now from the Environmental Protection Agency shows most of our state, we have elevated risk levels. Well, the EPA recommends that homes and schools be tested every 5 years.
But Chief Investigative Reporter Eric Ross found radon may be going undetected in your child's school because some districts have not tested in decades. He's in studio. Eric.
Rob and Elizabeth, good evening. Our investigation found some school districts in our viewing area test more often than others. But don't be so quick to point fingers at the school. Blame a loophole in the law that essentially lets each district decide how frequently they should test. Imagine if Colorado let you decide how frequently you need to renew your driver's license, or how often you should pay to renew your car registration. If the state gave you that type of power, there'd probably be a lot of unregistered cars and unlicensed drivers on our roadways. But that's exactly the type of power the state and federal government have given school districts when it comes to testing for radon.
There's not been any statutory requirement for repeat testing or mitigation.
Colorado requires all schools to initially test for the cancer-causing gas. Those tests are conducted when schools are built, which in some cases happened 20+ years ago.
Certainly any place that you spend a significant amount of time indoors is worth potentially knowing if there's a radon risk there.
Our investigation found some districts don't have a policy for how often they test for radon, while others haven't tested in years. Widefield District 3 told us they only tested their buildings once, and most of those tests were done back in the 90s.
I think it's important that people understand, while they often know that smoking is attributed to lung cancer, that for non-smokers, this is a significant risk, and this is the second leading cause of lung cancer if you've never even smoked in your life.
In fact, the EPA estimates about 21,000 deaths each year are linked to lung cancer from radon exposure. It's a naturally occurring radioactive gas that comes from the ground and can seep through cracks in a foundation or loose piping. Like carbon monoxide, radon is colorless and odorless.
There is no safe level of exposure because radon is a carcinogen, and so the lower the level of exposure, the better for you.
The EPA recommends radon testing levels sit below 4 picocuries per liter.
The 4 picocurie per liter guidance by EPA is a number that EPA recommends people not be exposed on a long-term basis. That doesn't mean that there is not risk at levels and exposures below 4. At night, they can be quite elevated.
Doug Clatter, the director of the Center for Environmental Research and Technology, has decades of experience testing for radon.
There are a number of continuous monitors like this one or this one.
The good news is that radon can be easily removed and mitigated, but the state health department reminds the public on its website that there is no law requiring schools to fix the problem. Instead, it's up to the school district and its constituents to address mitigation issues.
When you talk about regulation, am I forced to fix a house or a school if I find an elevated level? We don't have that yet.
Combing through records, we found some schools had dangerously high levels of radon as recent as last year. For example, at Weichel Elementary School in Fountain Fort Carson District 8, elevated levels in 12 different areas were found, some levels more than 5 times the EPA guideline. The district told us in a statement that corrective measures have been taken and that the district is about to retest those locations to ensure mitigation measures have worked. To their credit, school districts in Colorado Springs and Pueblo have taken measures to lower radon exposure by installing mitigation systems and adjusting ventilation equipment to allow more outside air into buildings. But health officials are more concerned about schools, buildings, and homes that have gone untested for years.
Generally, we just want people to know that radon is widely dispersed throughout the county, and so the winter months tend to be a good time to test.
And if you're concerned about the potential of radon in your home, the state health department actually ran out of free test kits, but you can pick them up at most hardware stores for as little as $10. Certain cities and counties also have a limited supply of free testing kits still available, and we've posted more information on where to find them on our website at KOAA.com. Rob and Elizabeth.
Eric, going back to the schools, some districts which haven't tested for years, they're telling you that they plan to do this soon.
Exactly. You know, Pueblo District 60 hasn't tested its schools since the 2003-2004 school year. However, a spokesperson told me via email that all schools will be retested this year. Fountain Fort Carson District 8 telling me all of its buildings will be tested this school year as well, and they'll retest every 5 years, which is the recommendation. Now, tomorrow on KOAA.com, I'll be posting radon test results we obtained from the major school districts in our region, so be sure to look for this story under the News 5 Investigates tab. As always, if you have a problem or issue you think needs our attention, feel free to send us an email anytime, news5investigates@koaa.com, or you could call me at 719-228-6275.